Lily was about to hop into the shower and call it a night when her mom arrived unannounced. She had every right to head to bed early. Tomorrow's workday loomed large. But there her mom sat in the kitchen, rejecting tea, nervously chewing her lips, and talking about nothing in particular. Lily stifled a yawn, her patience fraying. She didn't have the heart to ask her mother to leave, but sitting there exchanging empty words wasn't exactly enticing either. Mom, Lily finally broke the silence, is something wrong? Wrong? Why would you think that? Her mom bristled. I don't know. It's just late for a visit. Am I not allowed to drop by my own daughter's place? Her mom snapped. You're already pulling away from us like we're strangers to you. Lily sighed, brushing a hand through her hair. Pulling away? Why would you say that? Do we really have to fight again? And why not? Her mom countered, lips pressed tight. Your friends mean more to you than your family, don't they? Lily looked at her mom, a wry smile forming. All right, let's hear it. Say what you came to say. There's nothing to say. You know perfectly well. Humor me, Lily said, sitting up straighter. Go on. Her mom hesitated, then blurted out, You don't even keep in touch with Tessa. Always running around with your fancy friends. Uh-huh. What else? And when your father asked you to drive Grandma to the cottage, you said you were too busy. Who asked? Drive whom? Don't play dumb. You know exactly what I mean. Sure. Go on. You live like royalty, off on vacation twice a year like you've got money to burn. Oh, I burn it just fine, Mom, Lily quipped. I earn it and I save it. Save it? Meanwhile, we've gone 15 years, maybe longer, without a proper home renovation. You could have helped out. Could I now? Interesting. Anything else? The conversation spiraled from there, with Lily's tone growing sharper and her mom's indignation rising. These kinds of clashes weren't new, but tonight Lily decided she wasn't going to let it drop. No more circling back to these arguments later. Tessa's working herself to the bone, and you've got no responsibilities, no kids, not even a pet. You could help her out. Help how? Hand over my savings? Drag Tessa, her husband, and their kids along with me? Is that it, Mom? Why should your father and I have to do it all? And why should I? Lily shot back. We're family, her mom insisted stubbornly. We're supposed to support each other. You're family, Lily corrected, so you support each other. Her mom's face flushed. You're mocking me, aren't you? Everything's just handed to you. A 3-bedroom apartment, a nice car, better than Tessa's Daniel has, and he's a man, for heaven's sake. And that's my fault? That he can't buy a place or provide better for his family? They're crammed into one room in your 2-bedroom apartment, but they're having kids just fine. You want to bring up my job, too? The one that lets me afford this life? Sure, Mom. Let's talk about that. I work like a mule, and tomorrow's another early day. So, how about we wrap this up and head to bed? You're kicking me out? Her mom shrieked. No, you can stay the night. I have a guest room, remember? Her mom huffed. So, you won't help your sister? Nope. And you won't take Robbie to the beach with you? Not a chance. Selfish. Completely. Must have gotten it from you. I'm never setting foot here again. Good riddance. I'll never set foot in this house again. Good riddance, Lily replied without a trace of hesitation. You? What, Mom? Never coming back? That's hardly news. The last time I was at your place, your husband dragged me out by the collar. Remember that? Oh, wait. Yes, it was when Grandma was bedridden and I couldn't manage her alone. I had to call the neighbors for help. They were the ones who helped me bathe her, who helped prepare her for her final journey. She had no one else but me, Mom. My dad was her only son. And while we're reminiscing, let's talk about how you handed me over to your mom when I was 6. Said I was disturbing Tessa's sleep, remember? Though I have another theory. I was ruining your perfect little family. I was a constant reminder of my father, wasn't I? And your husband, being the alpha male he fancied himself, couldn't stand the sight of another man's child. Lily's voice grew sharper. And when you needed help with Tessa, your precious daughter, you shipped me off to my dad's mom. You sent me to live with a complete stranger. Your mother, my so-called grandmother, didn't think twice before dropping me off at someone else's door like an unwanted toy. She didn't remember she had an older granddaughter for years. Now suddenly, you want to take a trip to the cottage and thought, oh, Lily, she'll help. Sure, that tracks. You know what, Mom? I got lucky. Grandma warmed my frozen heart. At 8 years old, I was already cold inside because the one person who was supposed to love me unconditionally betrayed me. You. That's not true, her mom shot back. You wanted to live with Grandma. Really, Mom? Even you don't believe that, do you? I didn't even know she existed until you sent me away. You're twisting everything. Am I? Did I twist the way you'd bring me to family gatherings only to use me as Tessa's babysitter? You didn't even think to feed me first. And I was dumb enough not to eat at home because I wanted to save my appetite for your parties. You paraded me around, showing off to your guests about how much I adored my little sister. They all gushed about how sweet we were. And the second they left, you stuffed me in a cab back to Grandma's without even offering me dinner. Lily's voice softened with bitter nostalgia. But you wanted to talk, didn't you, Mom? Let's talk. Let's discuss how I became the daughter you didn't want. I remember when you loved me, Mom. How you braided my hair just like yours when you were a little girl. You scoured the whole city for ribbons and satin bows because rubber bands wouldn't do. You played with me, read me stories, whispered the plots of romantic movies you'd seen without me. I remember how you grabbed a bully by the collar when he picked on me. And at home, you explained that he was only teasing me because he liked me. I believed you. I believed you when we were a team, just the two of us. And when you met the man who became your husband, I was thrilled. Suddenly, I had a dad too. At least, that's what I told myself. I adored him, Mom. I'd press my cheek to his hand, hoping he'd never get sick, never leave us. I loved the mohair scarf he wore. It smelled like him. When he wasn't home, I'd pull it from the closet just to feel close to him. But then Tessa was born, and I became invisible. It was all about you, your husband, and your perfect little family. I wasn't part of it. I remember the red quilt you'd lay on the floor for the three of you to sit on. I tried to join once, just at the edge, but he shoved me away and called me a big, clumsy cow. And you said nothing. You just stared at Tessa, completely absorbed by your beautiful daughter with the man you loved. Lily paused, her voice trembling. You gave me to your mother, the woman who called me a freak and a brat, a worthless remnant of my no-good father. She couldn't get rid of me fast enough, handing me off to my other grandmother, someone I'd never even met. You did your duty, though. You came to parent-teacher meetings to collect your accolades. I tried my hardest in school, hoping you'd notice, that you'd love me again, that we'd be a family. But we never were. My real family was Grandma. My friends' moms wiped my tears. My friends were my sisters. Do you know why I'm 30 and still single? Because I'm terrified I'll become you. What if it's hereditary? What if I can't make a marriage work and end up alone with a child? What if I meet someone else, have another child, and abandon the first? What if their grandmother isn't like mine? What then? Lily's voice broke. I still love you, Mom, because you're my mom, and everyone needs to love someone. That's why I tolerate your insanity. But I don't love your mother, your husband, or your precious Tessa. I tried with her. I really did, but she's selfish. When she realized I wouldn't shower her with gifts and take her on fancy trips, she cut me off. I even tested her, said we'd just stay home and go to the river. That was enough for her to erase me from her life. Lily stood. I've said it all. You can stay or go. If you stay, I'll hold you, and we can forget all this. I'll be the best daughter you've ever had. Her mom stared at her, then whispered, I need to go. She walked out, leaving Lily hollow and slumped at the kitchen table. Minutes later, the door creaked open. Lily's heart leaped, her eyes shining. I forgot to ask, her mom said, voice dry. Are you taking Tessa's little Robbie to the beach with you? He's 5 and has never been anywhere. And about the renovations? Get out, Lily whispered. Just go. Her mom shrugged and disappeared. Lily couldn't sleep that night. In the morning, she called a friend, booked time off, and caught a plane. She needed the ocean to wash it all away. Floating in the waves, she knew one thing for certain. She'd never go back to being the person she used to be. Lily stood on the shore, the waves lapping gently at her feet, the golden light of the setting sun casting its warm glow over the water. She thought about the stories she had told herself, the ones that had kept her bound to a past that no longer needed her. Every tear she had shed, every sleepless night spent wondering why she wasn't enough. It all seemed like a distant echo now, fading into the rhythmic song of the ocean. It wasn't about the family she was born into or the love she had chased for so long. It was about the family she had built in her heart, the friends who stood by her, the children at the orphanage who saw her as their own, and the strength she had cultivated through years of loneliness and longing. She realized that her worth wasn't determined by the mother who couldn't love her or the man who pushed her away. It was defined by the way she chose to love, to care, and to rise above it all. Turning away from the horizon, Lily smiled. She had carried the weight of broken promises and fractured dreams for far too long, but now she was ready to let it go. The tide was rolling in, washing over the sands where she had stood. And just like the waves, she felt herself move forward, toward a future where love wasn't begged for, but shared freely, where she could finally find peace not in others, but within herself. Because sometimes, healing wasn't about fixing what was broken. It was about leaving the pieces behind and walking away, stronger, freer, and unshakably whole. That's how the story ends, friends. Join the conversation below and share your thoughts on this story. If you found it captivating, share the link with your friends. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you never miss a new story that will make your heart race. Your support inspires us to create more tales. Take care and see you next time.